All right, so some rain cool temperatures is where we'll begin. I also want to show you the radar in the future, when we expect this next wave of rain, how much more rain we expect to fall, and then why so much rain. Going to show you the explanation behind this weather pattern. First, the rain cooled Tuesday. Rarely will we be in mid-July and be in the mid-70s to lower 80s in the afternoon. 82 here in the city, 83 at Randolph, the warmest on the map, 86 at Pleasanton. Lackland's not far behind. Then look at Hondo, Bandera, Bulverde, all in the mid-70s out there under the clouds. It's not raining there. You'll see that, again, there's just maybe a little bit of light precipitation, some of which might not even be reaching the surface because the atmosphere is still very, very moist. A lot of what we call precipitable water remains in the wake of this morning's heavy, heavy rains. Notice that out to the west, we still had the last of it down near Eagle Pass, and now just some pretty good downpours over the mountains of Mexico. And if you weren't here for the top of the show, got to recap these phenomenal radar estimates. Remember, this is a computer algorithm that's figuring on rainfall rate and how much did fall. And look at this. I mean, 13.5 inches near Uvalde. I will say this. In most cases, these aren't too far off from reality. Notice it was near Sabinal, essentially between Uvalde and Hondo, for another 13-inch pocket there in the silver and gray. 7.5 inches is going to be Bandera, 2+ at Medina Lake, 10+ near Hondo. Just to the north and in between Hondo and Castroville, 2 inches San Antonio International estimate. So with more rain in the forecast and an already soaked sponge with nowhere to put this water, the flood watch through Thursday evening does include San Antonio, Seguin, and up to Austin. These are flash flood warnings for nearly all of Medina, Uvalde, then Real and Kinney counties. And again, that's through this evening. Here's future radar. When we're getting more rain, 9 p.m. And it does look like it's going to be San Antonio, then east. And then notice that it really picks up as we get into the overnight and early Wednesday, right up the I-35 corridor, then out the Highway 90 corridor as well. And then another good wave midday into the early afternoon. We've got more heavy rain for Wednesday, 2 to 3 p.m. And then it's really not until tomorrow evening into tomorrow night before we start drying out. Pockets of scattered rain continue over the hill country, just continuing to aggravate an already bad situation out to the west because they're under flood warnings now with this kind of rainfall on the way. And the flooding outlook, again, this high risk from Hondo west to Del Rio. And that you don't get any higher. 3 out of 4 risk does include San Antonio, Bernie, Kerrville. Here's the setup. Area of low pressure. We're just underneath the influence of the high. That's why this drier air stops in North Texas. We've got plenty of Gulf moisture this time of year because the high that's producing that heat and dry air is pumping all this Gulf moisture in. Then add to it a stationary frontal boundary. So this becomes the surface trigger and focal point for where that rain is going to develop. From the Riverwalk, we've got the 14-day forecast that begins with 2 weather impact alerts because of flooding rains through Thursday. We start drying out with a 20% chance of rain Friday. Notice rain cool temps will go mid-80s through Thursday, back to the 90s for the weekend. The weekend is dry, 92 to 93, back up to the mid-90s heading into the 3rd full week of July. Notice that we've got Saturday and Sunday, the final weekend of the month, is looking pretty hot into the mid-90s. Time for some Tuesday traffic.